Dear students, let us start the discussion on 14 February 2018 newspaper. The first article, The Danger of Counterfactuals. And before going into this, I was sick for the last 3 days, so I was unable to upload the videos for you. Sorry for the inconvenience, and I will continue it from here. So, to understand this article, let us say, in a society, people have multiple identities. And social differences are also common in any given society. When different identities, they overlap with social differences, it leads to social divisions. Let me explain you this. Overlapping among different social identities can lead to a social division. Let's take upper caste and Dalits in India. So in these circumstances, so there is a good chance that these will be the land-owning class, educated, and relatively poverty levels are low. But among the Dalits, there can be landless, poverty levels might be high. It means the caste identity is overlapping with economic identity and social identity. So in this case, these social differences can lead to social divisions. The social divisions are very dangerous. And second aspect is, these social divisions are used by the politics for mobilization. And politics using social divisions is natural and it also can be constructive. So if you talk about upliftment, empowerment, all these the constructive use. On the other hand, politics can play havoc with these identities, which can lead to intercaste conflicts, etc. And we see this explanation from the dimension of communalism. So in communalism, the people believe religion as the sole factor for a social community. Any social community has to be built, it has to be built only on the basis of religion. The interests of the people following one religion, a common religion, are common. And if there are any differences among them, they are superficial and have to be brushed aside. So, another religion, if it is competing for material and spatial interests, then it has to be seen as an opponent, and very existence of that religion will threaten the other religion. This kind of rivalry view that makes communalism the worst. So again remember, the existence of any other can be a threat to our religion. This kind of thinking is the basis for communalism. So, Britishers have created a loose association called Hindus by bringing in different identities across India. And later Islam. So elites among the Hindu wanted to widen these differences for a political advantage. And finally, it has led to division in the country. It means the Britishers have sown the seeds. Elites have used these to mobilize the support for their political cause. This can be a reason for division. So keeping entire division in a framework of Congress politics is also not good. So trying to understand division of India into two countries from only one narrative is very dangerous. So in this context, so any understanding of communalism or communal forces, we need to understand how this communal psyche has developed among the people. So communal psyche develops over years, over decades, not over days. The next is how to handle big data. So a big data today has become an engine of growth. It is the fuel for economic growth and prosperity. At the same time, big data can also be misleading if we do not analyze it with proper statistical tools. So global flu project of Google, it has gone horribly wrong because of failure to understand the behavioral patterns of the individuals. So in this context, the big data will be useful to the extent we are able to use with proper decision-making tools and statistical tools. Without that, it can lead to untoward consequences. That is what this article's essence says. Ramallah recall. So it is about Israel-Palestine and India relations. How India sees Israel-Palestine relations. I'll put it as this way. Previously, any dignitary of India who visited Israel also simultaneously visited Palestine and Arab countries. It means there was hyphenating between Israel and Palestine in Indian minds. Now, what Prime Minister Modi is trying to do is de-hyphenation. He wants to disconnect both Israel and Palestine from each other because both are important for India. Arab countries are sensitive to the cause of Palestine and India is dependent on them for its energy security. Today we are also looking for them for investments, especially from their sovereign wealth funds. And second, Israel is essential for defense needs, agricultural technology and other needs, other technical needs. So, India has stated itself as a good friend for Israel, and it can be seen through the exchanges happened between India and Israel recently. Prime Minister Modi visited Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, has reciprocated it. And now Prime Minister Modi is visiting Ramallah and UAE, Oman, etc. So in this, Prime Minister has clearly stated that he hopes to have a sovereign and independent Palestine. Previously, the word used was United Palestine. So it appears that Prime Minister has cautiously avoided that word. So when we talk about Palestine as a nation, it is with the boundaries of 1967, before 1967. It means West Bank has to be part of Palestine and Jerusalem shall be the capital of it. So this micro details Prime Minister did not speak. It shows that he wanted to keep the specifics aside and see how the global politics develop on the issue so that he can reveal his mind. Woods and trees. So let me give you one example. If you go to any forest, if it consists of same trees, can we call it as a forest? Now what is the difference between an agriculture field and a forest? Forest has diversity, interdependency between plants and animal life. So in this context, as forests are decreasing and forest department is planting certain trees like eucalyptus, can it be a compensation for the natural forest? Ask this question to yourself. Can we replace the natural forest with the planted trees? So the diversity is being killed. Diversity has an economic value, spiritual value in itself. Today, India has, as per State of Forest report, India has around 24.4% of forests with it. But this 24.4% of the forests, it is more and more becoming monocultural forests. The diversity is going down. The biological hotspots, biodiversity hotspots of Northeast, Western Ghats, they are losing their diversity very quickly. And second, in our national accounting, we do not use the benefits of the protecting of biodiversity in forests, such as providing for medicinal value and then providing protection against floods, climate change, etc. These advantages we are not taking. That's why the value of forests is always undermined. So the government has to take steps to move away from monocultural plantations in the forests as a replacement to the loss of forest cover. This is the essence. Rift in Sri Lanka's ruling coalition. You know that National Unity Government has come into existence with Sri Lankan Freedom Party and UNP, United National Party. Ranil Wickremesinghe belongs to UNP and then President Sirisena belongs to Sri Lankan Freedom Party and former President he also belongs to the Sri Lankan Freedom Party, Rajapaksa. Now, the Rajapaksa's faction and President's factions, these are the two in the Freedom Party. So this Rajapaksa has started a new party with his brother that is called Sri Lankan People Party. The Sri Lankan People Party won majority of seats in local government. So this has developed the rift in the National Unity Government. That's what this article talks about. Now, today there are constitutional amendments or rewriting of Sri Lankan constitution is under consideration. So in this, if national unity government breaks down, how it will lead to the future, that's what is the major worry. So here, Sri Lanka wants to move from the presidential system or semi-presidential system more towards parliamentary system. And second thing is, a unitary state to more a federal state, more towards federal provisions. This is what is the constitutional amendment which it is looking at. And there are many divisions among the elite on moving or shifting from existing constitution to a new framework. And Rajapaksa faction is opposed to any changes in the constitution. Now, BJP has to set the house in order before Lok Sabha polls. So instead of going into the politics, understand one thing. So South and North, the way they vote are a bit different. So in the South India, the developmental politics played a big role along with the caste politics. But in the North, the religion has played a bigger role along with the caste. This narrative was shifted towards the development across India in 2014 elections by Prime Minister Modi's campaign. So this developmental narrative may not be helpful for BJP in 2019 because of its failure to develop jobs in the country. That's what the former Chief Minister of Karnataka, S.M. Krishna, is talking about. And second is, Bengaluru as a city has become the Silicon Valley of India. And at some point of time, world started seeing India through the prism of Bengaluru when we had this IT boom. So today, Bengaluru is stated to be a dying city. So this is an important finding for our pattern of urbanization. So the Bengaluru city, dying of lakes over there, pollution and road congestions, these are all the example of unplanned urbanization. So from that perspective, try to see this article. Now, Chinese media warns against actions in Maldives. So, India don't want to interfere in Maldives at any cost. But media has already stated that if India sends its troops into Maldives, it is ready to counter them. US Senate begins debate on immigration. So the recent immigration checks issued by President Trump, there is a discussion going on. ANC orders Juma to step down. Cyril Ramaphosa, the vice president, has become the head of African National Congress in South Africa now. Whenever you remember South Africa, two words you need to remember from Nelson Mandela. One is, the South Africa constitution is based on goodness in every human. It means, he states that the hate has no place in making or building a nation. That has led to rainbow coalition between blacks, whites and colored people among South African citizens. So this rainbow coalition is an example how different people have to live together. So this is what is today's newspaper, and the notes will be posted to you at likes.in/CivilsPrep. Thank you very much. All the best.